say it's difficult to fall in love again. But thanks to this man, and don't get the wrong idea, right? I have fallen in love with something that I never ever thought throughout the whole of my motorcycling career I would do, and that is sidecars. But not any old sidecars. The object of my obsessive affection are these Soviet-era outfits. They were built behind the Iron Curtain, initially for the Red Army, but now I own 2 of them. For me and Tony and thousands of members of the Cossack Owners Club, we just can't get enough of these bikes. I've become obsessed to the point where Tony rang me one night. He goes, if you want a Dnieper, just buy this one. It's come up on an auction site, but don't haggle. The guy wanted 3.5 grand. We got him down to 2.9. And me and my mate Skid, we got in a van and we went and picked it up. And that was that baby there. That's a 1968 Dnieper outfit, ex-military, probably patrolled the Berlin Wall, I'd like to think, at some point in its life. Tony, for you, why do you love outfits?
Because it's perverse. There's no reason for a sidecar outfit, it's just a state of mind. It's just something that nobody else can do and you can do.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, perhaps that is kind of like a love affair in a way.
Yeah,
with the right person. The thing that always confused me is that though Russian sidecars all look pretty much the same, they have different names. Why?
Dniepers are made in Kiev on the river Dnieper.
Hence why
Urals are made in the Ural Mountains at Irbit in the Soviet Union. Jawas are Czechoslovakian.
But no mountain ranges nearby?
No.
Okay.
No. But in the old Russian days, they didn't have names like Dnieper and Ural. They were just a model number because all motorcycling manufacturing was state-owned. It was only when they started exporting them to the West that they had to start coming up with a name.
And if you think that these bikes bear more than a passing resemblance to vehicles made by a well-known German brand, whose initials don't stand for Bavarian Motor Washer, then you'd be right.
What is generally accepted now is that just before the war there was a pact between Russia and Germany, Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and they swapped engineering for grain and fuel. And it's generally accepted that the plans for an old model of BMW were given to the Russians.
Originally, both the BMW and the Russian versions were designed for military use, hence certain peculiarities of the bikes. There seems to be machine gun things, is that right?
Yeah, they're genuine. You can actually fit machine guns to these, but, you know, there's a machine gun mount back and front on this, more for looks than anything else. People put them on, but in reality, perhaps 1 in 3 of these bikes had machine gun mounts. They're not really combat vehicles, but in an emergency they could be used.
I paid $2.9 for my 1968 model and $2 grand for this newer Dnieper from 1981, so they're not quite as expensive as a Fabergé egg. Now look, prices-wise though, you know, I mean, we're talking 2.5 grand, are we, for a good one? 3 grand?
Prices are going up.
Are
Prices
they?
are going up, yeah.
Happy days, are they?
Yeah. I think it's the influx of East Europeans into Britain.
Yeah.
They're bringing bikes, contacts with them, putting them on auction sites. People are looking at them. People want something classic with a sidecar, but they don't want to pay prices like British bikes. There you go. Buy a Ural, buy a Dnieper.
For sure.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm wedded. I'm in. Thank God for our Eastern European friends.
Yeah.
Though your basic Dnieper is not too hard to get hold of, Tony has brought along something today which is rarer than a smile from Vladimir Putin.
I have to say, first of all, it's a one-off.
Okay, yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
one-off.
But it's so cool, mate.
Built by the Racing Institute, the Soviet Racing Institute. And it
so it's not one of your creations?
No, it's a pucker competition machine.
Is it?
Yes, and it was given to the British importer so that he could use it in grass track and promote the bikes.
And talking of competition, the first time I tried a Russian sidecar a few years ago, I was so tentative that I barely left first gear. Now I have a couple of them, I'm a lot more confident, but it's still harder than you think to keep them under control. That's right. What is the secret?
The secret of riding a motorbike and sidecar is all in the head. You've got to forget that you're riding a solo, which is really hard if you're a confirmed motorcyclist. If anybody's getting on a sidecar outfit, take it easy.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to crash it until you get used to it.
Okay.
It's not the most stable form of transport in the world.
Hey, look, man, fascinating. Now, okay, when you come back, we're going to show you that sidecars are made for sharing. But before I do that, we've been finding out all about Soviet sidecars, looking at my two models and Tony's racing special. Now, though, it's time to cut the chat and start on the action. Well, welcome back to the eulogising about sidecars with me and Tony. Now, we had a good look at them first time out, but we didn't ride them. That is now all going to change, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, we're going to prove them.
We're going to prove them. We're going to show to you that you can have the best fun possible with your friends on a sidecar. And also we're going to show you that you can carry other stuff apart from friends with you. So I've set us all a bit of a challenge. We've got Carl, we've got Skid, and we've got Tony, one team, on his bike, and we've got Daz. You may well know Daz from the legendary powder coating situation. And we've got Jojo, who works with me. We're going in my little outfit, and we're not going to have a race, but we're going to have a little adventure together. And there are just a few little things that we're going to have to achieve. That includes water, trees, and a little bit of off-road. Straight away, it feels good on the road. Daz is riding pillion and Joe's in the chair. Sidecar passengers don't need to wear a helmet, but as Joe is about to discover, you need to choose your headgear wisely. Going, gone. Apart from the loss of the cap, everything else goes perfectly for both teams. The key to riding a sidecar combo is to keep it nice and steady. And the beauty of it is that you can chat to your passenger, or to be more precise, shout at them. Lean, Joe! You're not turning your key! After 10 minutes, we reach our first destination, the local garden centre. All right, so I think we passed the first test. Good laugh on the road, boys and girls.
Good
Was it?
luck. Yes.
You're missing your hat. But come this way, OK, so I've acquired, right, keep walking that way, I've acquired, right, a couple of plants for us to take on our travels to the pub. Step this way.
Got Henry's name written on it.
That's yours.
Oh.
Right, Joe.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Right, thank you.
Best of luck. Right, let's keep moving. Come on. Oh, watch that pom-pom. Now the first stage of the delivery is all on tarmac. Joe has the job of holding the baby, and her face displays a suitably wide range of emotions. From keep calm and carry on, to I'm not a celebrity but get me out of here anyway, to selfie time. Guy in the other outfit is playing daddy, though his mate Carl clearly wants to get his hands on Guy's bush. The bikes themselves trundle along marvellously, and then the real fun starts when we turn off the tarmac and go off-road. We roar through the puddles, lollop over lumps, and go round this farm again, and again, and again. In truth, there's no good reason for us to be taking this detour, but as they say in Russia, for a mad dog, 7 miles is not a long way. Then finally, we reach the plough. Ah, Tony, all right, everybody?
Yeah.
Everyone's in one piece? Yes. Tony, that was fantastic. I've got to tell you, I didn't realise how versatile these things are. Martin, I've got his little trees for him.
Henry, the trees have arrived.
What do you reckon? They've come in sort of a slightly roundabout way, but you'll be absolutely fine with them. They're glorious. They're quite scented, slightly petrol generally. Tony, thank you so much,
You're more
mate.
than welcome.
Really?
More than welcome.
That has been a ball. Have we enjoyed it, Carl?
We've had a ball.
Yeah,
We've
good.
had a ball.
Skid?
Loved it.
Well, come on, Daz.
Absolutely fantastic time, thank you.
Now, most importantly, Joe,
Yeah.
come on then.
Great fun. Absolutely loved it.
Hey, look, I think that basically is a straw poll to say having a sidecar is the most glorious thing. So I'm just sure if you really try, you've got a little room in your garage for one. I know you want one.